I'm gonna play a couple of gigantic now. Where's Maxor? Let's get chaotic. Chaotic is the best TCG that ever existed that nobody has ever heard of. Let me show you my deck I've been working on. Something I've been whipping up, you know? A little something I've been cooking together just for you. Because I knew you would ask. Let me go to chaoticrecode.com. Let me show you my chaotic deck. So, I'll go to Deck Builder and I'll show you what I've been working on. This is my Elementalist Wisdom deck. It's actually quite advanced, but currently not very meta at the moment. Here's everything. So this is my board, right? So when I go up against another player, they'll have a board identical to mine facing mine. So I have 3 boards. This is my front line, okay? I'm running 1 Tartarak Psi Overloader, okay? This is a retrain of the original Tartarak. He's beefed up. He's got 100 courage and 1,000 wisdom, okay? He also has 65 energy and the elements fire and earth. He's basically a roided up little turtle guy. He has the ability that by spending 1 music counter, and he has 2 music counters to start the game with, that he could target a creature and gain it 35 wisdom. I can use this to help with my wisdom attacks. You see, this is a stat check 50 wisdom, deal 5 damage, but sometimes I need to have like 100 wisdom, so using Tartarak to increase my character's wisdom kind of helps, you know, win my stat checks and make my attacks go off. This is Ivana. She's like my main bitch, right? Okay? She's so fucking cool. Now she has no elements, and you're gonna notice that's gonna be very important. The fact that my creatures have no elements in this deck is very, very important. I have her equipped with Azerium armor, making it so that anytime she would take more than 20 attack damage from a single attack, she actually just takes 20 damage instead, making her very tanky. She also has unique and loyal, meaning you can only play 1 copy of her, and she can only be on teams with other overworlders, okay? She also has outperform courage 5 and wisdom 5, meaning attacks that deal damage with courage and wisdom deal an additional 5 damage. So on an attack with like delirium, it would deal 5 extra damage, turning a 5 damage attack into a 10 damage attack, okay? Or on an attack like Flashmend, it would heal 5 damage to me and then deal 5 damage to my opponent, okay? But there's also attacks like Directed Bravery, which has stat check courage 60, deal 10 damage, stat check wisdom 60, deal 10 damage. She would get an extra 5 damage for each stat check. So since this is a courage and a wisdom attack, instead of doing 25 damage when she plays it, it would actually do 35, but only when played by Ivana. Are you following along? Write that down, write that down! Next is Drabe. Now Drabe is he's kind of like a support character, but I have him in the front row because, and I'll explain why in a minute. But he has the ability to target a creature, spend a music, that creature gains 15 energy. Since I'm doing most of my attacking with Ivana, who has very high wisdom and very high health, I'd be targeting her most of the time. But on the off chance that Drabe is targeted for an attack, he has no elements, meaning my back row, this is my support card, okay? This is Ikatosh, the Ike King, okay? Ike King? Ike King? This is Ikatosh, okay? Now he has the ability, he only has 25 energy, not very good, right? And he's unique. He has 80 wisdom, but he has the ability that at the beginning of combat, if my engaged creature has no elemental types, it gains 20 energy. Now, I'm playing Ivana. She has no elemental types, meaning at the start of a fight, she would go from 70 energy to 90 energy. And likewise, Drabe, when targeted, would go from 50 energy to 70. However, I don't really want Drabe to fight, okay? I need to keep Drabe safe. Which is why you may be wondering, Taiga, if you want to keep Drabe safe, why is he in the front line? That's a great question. I'll answer. It's because I have Loma in my mid lane, which she has the defender trait. Now the defender trait, it makes it so that whenever an enemy is targeted for an attack that a Loma or a creature with defender is adjacent to, she can actually tag in, okay? And battle instead. So let's say someone declared an attack on Drabe and I didn't want Drabe to fight, I'd be like, Loma, tag in. You're fighting Loma now instead. Now the problem is Loma has the water element, which is why I have her equipped with the battle gear, Aquatic Familiar. At the start of battle, I can chain this to Ikatosh's ability to gain 20 energy, expend water, gain 50 wisdom, okay? So I can get rid of her only element. She gains 50 wisdom, putting her up to a total of 125 wisdom at the start of the fight, which will allow her to have no elemental types, which will give her an additional 20 energy, putting her up to a total of 80 with 125 wisdom. she's gonna hit hard, right? She's a good defender, and she's really hot. She's really, really hot. Now, the reason I have her in the backline is also because I need her to defend Ikatosh and also Nadrin, because there are some times when creatures have like swift and range and they're able to attack over one of your monsters. So on the off chance that Nadrin or Ikatosh or Drabe is targeted for an attack, and I don't want them to be targeted for an attack, okay, I can have a Loma tag in. Now, I'm playing Nadrin. This is Nadrin, High Mage of the Lake. He's like a wizard guy. I wanted to have him in the backline, but I think it was more important to have Ikatosh there just because, you know, his health boost is basically my win condition for most of these fights. Now, because Tartarek has 2 elements, fire and earth, he's not actually able to get the health boost from Ikatosh, which is why I have him equipped with the battle gear, the Evergreen Tunic. Stat check, Courage 50, gain 5 energy. Stat check, Courage 75, gain 15 energy. So because his Courage is 100, he's gonna gain 20 energy off of this battle gear, meaning he's gonna be nice and tanky in the front row. And because he already has 100 wisdom, most of the attacks are gonna be hitting with him without the use of any abilities, okay? Now, this is Nadrin, as I said. Nadrin pays 1 less music to cast cards to a minimum of 1. So we've got music over here. For example, this is the Interlude of Interruption. Negate target music unless the casting creature plays one additional music. This wouldn't be ideal for Nadrin to cast. And ideally, you want to cast music that costs 2 cost, right? Because then he can pay 1 less for them. So he can pay 2 cost music for 1, twice. So like, this is a Refrain of Denial. It's a negate card, dispel target music card. He could pay this for 1 cost. He's negating for 1, okay? He's so cool. I have him equipped with Mepetian Balladier's Flute, okay? Sacrifice Mepetian Balladeer Flute, add a music to equipped creature, and then your opponent can add a music to theirs. It's not the best battle gear ever, but it lets him cast more music for 1, which is very useful when most of my music cost 2. In this game, it's a mixture of magic and music, know what I'm saying? Can you explain the game like I'm 5? I was. Do you want me to start over? I don't think I should. But where's Maxor? I love Maxor. I was gonna run Maxor. I have a deck with Maxor in it, but there wasn't as much build diversity as this one, so I like playing this one more. Again, these are my attacks. This is like Mind Mash, for example. Look at this one, okay? Look at this attack. It's Mind Mash. Now, for the attack deck, you have to have a build, but there's a build point cost for every attack, right? So Mind Mash, if you look in the top left corner, it says 5. That's 5 of my build points. You can only have 20 build points. So you have 20 cards in your attack deck, and then you have 20 build points to make your attack deck with. I'm using 5 of them on this one attack because it's just that good. Challenge Wisdom versus Courage, deal 15 damage. That means if my Wisdom is 5 higher than someone's Courage, I deal 15 damage. If my Wisdom is 5 higher than someone's Power, I deal another 15 damage. And then if my Wisdom is 5 higher than someone's Speed, I deal another 15 damage. And it also just does 15 damage base. Meaning, played on a character like Ivena, who is boosted with like Tartarek Psi Overlord with a bunch of Wisdom or something, she would be doing like 60? No, 65 damage, of course, because Ivena has outperformed Wisdom 5, meaning she gets an extra 5 damage on every Wisdom attack, meaning so Mind Mash would do a total of 65 damage, one-shotting like most creatures, unless they're like boosted up like Ivena would be. For locations, I'm running Castle Pillar. This is the initiative courage, and my characters don't have like the highest courage, so it's very possible that I could lose like this initiative. Now, basically, what an initiative means is that initiative courage, whoever has the highest courage makes the first attack. It's not that big a deal, okay? Making the first attack, you could kind of win the game off of that, but you know. I'm mainly playing this because at the beginning of combat, the engaged creature with the highest wisdom gains a music counter. Taiga, I'm dizzy. Okay, don't worry, we're almost done, okay? Basically, I get an extra music counter, basically any character that I'm playing here. These are my 4 attackers, not really Drabe, but like Loma, Ivena, and Turtle Guy, Tartarek. So they would get like an extra music counter, which means I can cast more music, or if it's on a character like Tartarek, I could use it to use one of his abilities, which is like pay a music counter, target creature gains 35 wisdom, right? And then I'm playing a copy of Gigantempopolis. The initiative is power. I'm almost always gonna lose like power against most decks, but at the beginning of combat, each engaged overworld creature gains a major counter, so it's just another way to gain counters. And then we have Kiru City. Okay, this is like this is the place where all the overworlders live. This is like the overworld city, okay? In lore anyway. And the initiative is wisdom, and overworld creatures I control gain 10 energy. So if Ivana was playing here, not only would she probably be able to make the first attack, but she would also probably be able to gain 10 energy. No, she would. She's not probably. She would be able to gain 10 energy. So at the start of the fight, because she has no elements, she would go from an extra 20 due to Ikatosh the H-King, and then on Kiru City, she would get an extra 10 energy, putting to a total of 100 energy at the start of a fight. Pretty cool, huh? Basically, it's unbeatable, except it's very beatable. It's not that good a deck. And then we got the overworld library. Initiative water. We're probably gonna lose initiative there because we don't really have elements unless like Loma's fighting, but she's expending her element anyway. Engaged creatures gain outperform wisdom 5, and damage dealt by courage attacks is reduced by 5. So on an attack like directed bravery, it's kind of like a net game. I lose 5, I gain 5, so it's gonna do the same damage. But on basically every other wisdom attack that I play, it's just gonna do an extra 5 damage. And on Avena, it's gonna do an extra 5 damage. On Avena, it's actually like no, it's a fucking great location because she loses 5 from Overworld Library, but then she still has the outperform courage 5, making it like a net gain, a neutral. So basically, she just gets an extra 5 damage on that location with most of her attacks. And then you've got Vudav's Rectorum, you know, get the Wisdom Initiative. When this card presents against the active location, each player draws 2 attack cards and then discards 2 attack cards. Lets me like cycle, mill through some of my attacks, get some good stuff out there, you know what I'm saying? And then finally we have Hurricane's Feast. I just like this card. The first attack played by a creature each combat is reduced by 20 initiative wisdom. It's fine. It's just like a fun little tech, you know? It's a nice looking card, yeah. And basically, that's how you play Chaotic, guys. So, any questions? My favorite card? I think my favorite card is, Waterbending? I like this one. She looks cool. Don't you think? This is like my water deck. So I'm using Ivana again because she's just really solid. But I have her equipped with the Urchus Undin, which gives her the water element at the start of the combat. And then this guy makes it so the all other creatures of water succeed on their discipline attack. Basically, I just succeed on a bunch of like stat check attacks. And I don't have to like actually have the stats to back it up. So I can play attacks like this, where I lose 60 courage but deal 10 damage for a 0 cost. I don't have to worry about losing 60 courage. We usually would, because when you lose 60 courage, you lose that for the rest of the fight. So like, if I lose 60 courage here, I wouldn't be able to succeed on a courage attack later, like directed bravery, for example. But because I automatically succeed on all discipline attacks I play, I can lose as much in any stat that I want, and then just keep playing attacks and doing max damage, basically. But oh man, look at this card. Look, this is Idris Nature Force. Isn't she cool? Isn't she cool? And this is Tangeth Toborn. He's like a lion, but when I was a kid, I thought he was an owl. Like, I thought his ear was his eye, and then his mouth was his mouth. But he's a lion. You just need to look closely. Tangeth Toborn is so cool, yeah. And I have him equipped with like Citadel fragments. You know, equipped creature gains additional 5 energy and 5 in each discipline for each elemental type, because he has 3 elements, putting him to a total of 85 energy. Basically, he's kind of cool. Yeah. And then Ivana, and then I'm playing Loma again, and then I'm playing Nadrin, and then instead of Ikatosh, I'm playing this guy. He's a captain. He's like a pirate captain, and I love pirates. So I decided I would put him in my deck. That's it. It's my rant. That's over. It's done. You guys, you dragged it out of me. That's it. That's all you get to hear. I feel like if I go on for any longer, I'm gonna scare you guys away. It's over already. A nice simple summary. That's a nice simple summary of how the game plays. Yeah. Do you guys understand Chaotic now? Do you understand what we're talking about? What we're dealing with here?
Nope.